Lori. I am here today with the What I Wore This Month video for the month of April 2016. I want to preface the video by saying I'm sorry if you hear me sipping at all through the video. I am presently double fisting coffees, one of the hot, one of the cold variety. I had a horrid sleep last night and it is Monday, so well, it's Monday for me. I'm not sure when the video is going to get uploaded, hopefully very shortly after this, but it's presently Monday. So I wore a total of 18 cloth pads this month. My cycle was 5 days long with about a day of spotting, so 6 days total if you'd like to include that. I now tend to spot, for a good 18-ish to 24 hours before my cycle starts, and then also a little bit at the end. Along with these 18 cloth pads, I also wore my original Ruby cup, which is not in the shot. I sanitized it and tucked it away and forgot to grab it. But if you've seen any of my other videos, you know what it looks like. It's the original clear Ruby cup. And I did completely trim the stem off of it because I like to wear it low. And I wanted to mention something that I keep meaning to mention in these videos. I have a very high cervix, and when I say high cervix, I mean high to the point of when I was pregnant and had to get my cervix checked. And normally your cervix comes down quite a bit when you're pregnant. The doctor still couldn't reach it. It's very, very high. And even with an abnormally high cervix, I still wear my cup very low and trim my stems off. It doesn't tend to move around too much, and if it does go a little high up, I bear down a little bit and I'm able to push it down. So just because you have a high cervix, don't think that you can't wear the shorty style cups or the shorter cups or trim the stems off your cups. No matter how high your cervix is, you may still prefer to wear them low in your vagina, and that's totally okay. All right, so with that little spiel said, let's get into the pads. So the day when I was spotting, I wore this 12-inch knit top Lazy Creek Boutique. You're going to see a lot of these this month. I'm really in love with knit and OBV pads, and all of my Lazy Creek boutiques are knit or OBV. They're also very thin and they work great with my scrundies. So there's quite a few of them. So this is a heavy Winpro-backed pad. The morning that my period actually started, I put on this 12-inch-ish knit-topped pad that I made myself. I purchased this awesome Doctor Who fabric to make myself a pair of leggings for the warmer weather. And I had some scraps and decided to add it to my pad collection. So it's a custom printed knit on the top and Winpro on the back. I then put on this 14-inch OBV topped Lazy Creek Boutique pad, Winpro backed, and it's moderate. And the last pad that I wore before bed was another one that I made myself. This is a 14-inch knit topped. Again, I purchased this fabric to make leggings as well, and it is double-faced fleece on the back. And then to bed that night, I wore for the first time my relatively new Homestead Emporium pad. I forgot to film an unboxing for this because when it came in, I wasn't even sure what it was when I was opening it. It had been so long since I ordered it that I didn't even remember. And that's something to note about Homestead Emporium. She does say in her shop policies that shipping length is lengthy, but that applies to even those of us in Canada. She's in Canada. Normally in Canada I get my items in 2 to 3 weeks max, and this took almost just over 5 weeks to be received. So it is a very, very long wait for one of these pads. If you love them and you're okay with that, just something to keep in mind when you order. So it's a custom printed OBV topper, and I seen this pad go up on Hyena Cart back in March, and I absolutely had to have it. It is gorgeous. It actually reminds me of Dendrick agate, and I'm a lapidarian, so that was super appealing to me. The one thing that I was kind of a little bit disappointed in when I got this pad is it's well sewn, it's well made, it's very comfortable to wear, but it's quite a bit shorter than I was expecting. The listing, it's the Alti Max pads. As you can see, it's quite a large pad. I purchased it for overnight. And it stated that it was approximately 17 inches. And I paid, it was quite expensive. This is the most expensive pad I own. It was roughly $25 Canadian for a 17-inch pad. So pretty pricey. I understand she uses very high-end materials, WinPro on the back, custom dyed OBV on the top. But I normally don't like to pay that much for a single pad. But I seen this print and I couldn't help myself, so I bought it. And then shortly after, I bought one from her Etsy store that I hasn't even come in yet. So, but it's actually only just over 15 inches in length, even though it stated 17. So that's a little disappointing. That makes it a very expensive 15-inch pad, but it's comfy. So it's OBV on the top and it's 15 inches and it's WinPro on the back. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant. It's on my mind because it just recently came in. So this pad is a 12-inch knit-topped WinPro backed Lazy Creek Boutique in heavy. Another 12-inch OBV topped moderate Lazy Creek Boutique. And with these two pads on this day, after when I woke up wearing this, I wore it and then took a shower and put my Ruby cup in. So these were essentially cup backup pads. And then to bed that night, I wore this awesome 16-inch Mimi's Dreams pad, Halloween hunk. It's cotton topped, WinPro on the back, and it is so much fun to bleed on. Okay, so the next day I was still wearing my Ruby cup, so I'm just glancing at my planner. I write down, give myself notes for these videos to make sure that I'm giving you accurate information. So I wore my Ruby cup all day again on this day. I wore it, these as backups essentially. 12-inch knit topped, peanut butter and jammin' Lazy Creek Boutique. It's a heavy. And an OBV topped Lazy Creek Boutique. It's a moderate. And then to bed that night, I wore this 14-inch Mimi's Dreams When Pigs Fly pad. I love the print of this. I also really love Mimi's Dreams pads. It's cotton topped and the grid block WinPro. The next morning, I woke up and put on this 14-inch Lazy Creek Boutique. It's a knit topper, WinPro backed, heavy. And I wore this without my cup. My cycle was starting to lighten up, so I didn't need to, or I didn't feel the need to wear it first thing in the morning. And then I put on this 12-inch cotton-topped fleece back pad that I made myself. I actually purchased this fabric, after Christmas, I believe, to make my daughter an Easter dress. It's a custom Japanese imported fabric, and I'm not sure if you can tell or not, if the camera will be able to pick it up, but it's gold foiled, like around all the stars and around the unicorns and stuff, so it's really, really shimmery and pretty. And I couldn't resist using a piece of it to make myself a pad. To bed that night, I wore this 14-inch Yurtcraft pad. It's cotton topped, WinPro backed, 3-star. It was far more than I needed for that night, but I like to be safe than sorry. It's better than washing sheets in the morning. So the next morning, my cycle was, very, very light. I put on this 11-inch Hoo Hoo Rags pad. Let me just say, this is the first time I wore this pad, and I absolutely love it. She had a stocking last month with quilted mashup pads. They were all custom toppers that she had taken different fabric from different different fabrics from and sewn them together to make a quilt style topper. And I seen this one and I absolutely had to have it. These are two fabrics that I have seen in Allison's on Allison's website and considered getting customs for. And when I seen that she had made a pad with them together, it had my name all over it. So I snatched it up when she listed it, and I absolutely love it. It is cotton on the top and WinPro on the back. and it's moderate / heavy. Afterwards, I put on this 12-inch Fig Leaves pad. It's her standard moderate to heavy, and this pad is near and dear to my heart because this is one that Stephanie actually picked for me. I won a listing on her group for a surprise print pad. So how that works is occasionally she puts up special listings where, you know, you'll get to pick your fabric topper, or you'll get a completely surprise topper, and then you don't have to wade through the waters to try and purchase one of her pads, because her pads go very quickly when she lists them. You have to be a serious ninja to grab one. So this is nice because the listing has your name on it and you purchased it at leisure, and you know, you don't have to worry about getting cart jacked while you're trying to check out. So she picked this topper for me and I absolutely love it. It's very whimsical. And to bed that night, I wore this 14-inch Yurtcraft pad, the Jellies print. It's a 3-star and it's Winpro backed. And then the last day of my cycle, I was just spotting, so I wore, this is another Fig Leaves. It's one of the more rare light pads in a 12-inch length. I love this pad for days when I'm not super heavy, or as a cut back up. It's super thin, like ridiculously thin, if you can see that. So yeah, so I wore this on the last day and that was it. So that was a total of 18 cloth pads if you are keeping count. My cycle was pretty standard this month. Not too much to report. Did get to try out a few new pads, which is nice. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye.